Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find, and with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today, we have got with us Sal, Easeism Works, mystery person that still won't tell us his name, BadTemperedBadger.
Hello.
Robbie, MathPig.
Oink.
Momma Atheist, Amanda.
Hello.
And the Eric Murphy.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Right. I've been very organised today, given that I actually knew who was coming on my panel in advance and put the links in the thing first.
Oh, cheers.
Don't we can handle all this organisation?
I know.
Well, it would not really be this well organised.
Well, to be fair, it helps when someone else organises.
That's why I leave it up to my guests when I invite them on to organise it, and it never happens.
Right. Shall we jump to the first question?
Sure.
Question 278. What is the most impressive meal that you can cook from scratch?
What counts as scratch?
You don't have to mince the meat.
Sausages, then.
Sausages.
Fair. Does it have to be like a dinner or can it be a dessert?
If it's a complicated thing, I'd accept a dessert.
I can do a really good creme brulee.
Yeah, creme brulees are awkward. I can take a creme brulee. Amanda?
I have a few. I make a really good pot roast. I make a really good meatloaf. I don't really like, but my son loves. Corned beef and a really good German chocolate cake.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I have some skills.
There's a whole
Mostly
meal
baking, though. Not so much the cooking.
Yeah.
Sal.
The most impressive meal?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I at first I heard most expensive, but okay, impressive.
Most expensive.
Give me 2 seconds. Come back to me.
Okay, MathPig.
Chicken fricassee.
What? Try in English.
Chicken fricassee.
What's chicken fricassee?
Fricassee, right?
Chicken ricochet.
Chicken fillets cooked in a roux sauce with peppers and a few onions, topped off with breadcrumbs and some spice. And yeah, it's lovely.
So, did you say something, Phillips?
Philip, no.
What was the first part of that? I didn't hear that.
Chicken fricassee. There's chicken. It's peppers. It's in like a brulee sauce.
What's a fricassee?
Fricassee.
Pirate Robert.
Fricassee. Fricassee.
You translate that into English.
That's what it's called. It's called chicken fricassee.
Well, okay. What's in it?
Chicken.
Yeah.
It's in a roux sauce with cheese. There's peppers. There's mushrooms.
That sounds good.
You put breadcrumbs over the top. You put it in the oven. You cook it. It's lovely.
I think it needs a better name.
I ain't gonna fucking need. These are all bastards.
I don't know what you were saying. It's gross.
I've got another
I
one.
can't believe I said corned beef and you said nothing.
Well, as opposed to corned beef hash. I was assuming.
No, not the corned beef hash. The actual I
you make
spent
the
all
corned
day
beef?
cooking it from
How is that
I
corned
totally-
beef then?
What?
How is that corned beef?
Because it's actual corned beef. Oh my fucking god, you people are just awful.
In the UK, we get corned beef in a tin.
Corned
I
beef is
have
meat that's been
another,
mashed up.
No,
I have-
it's like a brisket, only it's
Yeah.
seasoned.
You're talking about corned beef hash.
Well, corned beef. What we have is
Oh,
corned beef that
corned
goes
beef.
into hash.
Well, no.
I think
I know what you're talking about.
I think the issue is that corned beef is not the same across the pond.
No, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no.
Corned beef over here is a tin of chopped up meat that is excellent and goes well in the hash.
Used to be horses.
Yes. Not
Corn
long ago.
balls.
Oh, look at that. There you go. Well, see, I can't. Here's the problem. They can't see me. Right there. I've got to turn my camera on for them. Right.
What's up with
That's
that?
corned beef. It flickers.
You're blinking.
That's how we get corned beef. in a tin like that.
Wait.
With a key. It comes with a key on top. Open it.
Yeah, they have that here too, but I mean, it's like a brisket, only fuck you guys, whatever.
I've got another impressive meal, if you like.
Right. Go there 2 seconds. Kathy says chicken fricasse is a traditional French dish with a creamy white sauce. So pompous.
What?
Fricassee, and I'm not cooking for any one of you bastards now, by the way.
Here I am looking up pictures of corned beef so I can help.
Oh, okay. Eric is okay because he not only is he nice to me usually, he also sang happy birthday to me because you.
He did.
So.
Oh.
To be fair, he's also a damn sight closer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, to cook for me, you'd probably have to post it to me, and I don't think it would be quite the same quality once it arrived.
No, well, corned beef slices might.
If you see them.
Yeah.
Go on,
So,
but-
I do have another impressive meal, if you like.
Go on
This is
then.
corned beef.
Oh, where they gone? What's corned beef?
Oh,
Sure.
Oh, I can't sew it.
we've got this amazing fancy setup that doesn't work.
No, I haven't got screen sharing working. Sorry.
I can put it. I can put it as on my face if you like.
No, it's okay. We can live without it.
I don't want nightmares.
What's your other impressive dish, Badger?
I do this thing called what I refer to as pseudo nachos.
Uh-huh.
What it actually is it's a packet of crisps with grated cheese all over it and sweet chili sauce, then cooked in the oven.
That's not bad.
That sounds like a bit of a cop-out.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Sal.
Don't say chicken fricassee. That's mine.
You've already... Yeah, we know.
Sorry, one second.
There can only be one.
There can only be one. That's all right, we have to skip Sal, because he's got a phone call. Right. Mine would be lasagna.
Lasagne?
Yeah. What? Shush. How much for her can you hear?
Not much. Not just like a little whisper. Not
Come a little bit
words.
closer.
No, she's mostly insulting me, so the less you hear, the better.
So come a lot closer.
Did she get that enough from us? So, you know.
It is way too.
David, silly.
What are we doing awake this early? My goodness.
Early? It is first thing in the afternoon here.
And it's yeah, we usually go an hour early.
Try going on 6-pack, Eric. Okay. The Australians have 6-pack on Fridays, and it's Friday nights for them. But it used to be at 5:30 in the morning for me. So.
No.
And you're expected to be drunk.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You could carry over the drunk from the previous night.
That's
Yes.
true. I usually just stay up now. So, but it's later. It's at 7:30 now, which I found is harder because I have to stay up a whole 2 extra hours before I could just wait up all night, have a little bit to drink, and pass out by like 9 o'clock. Now I gotta wait till 7:30 in the morning. So,
Right. Question 279. Should you feel guilty for killing zombies?
Why?
Yes.
Why would you feel guilty for killing zombies?
They were humans.
Right.
They potentially
were
are
humans.
still humans, depending on the type of zombie.
Are they still humans though?
I mean, would you feel guilty for killing random dogs?
They were trying to kill me, no.
Are
Probably
they?
more so than the zombies. We all like dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the zombies have a functioning brain of some sort. I mean,
Have
they
you ever
want
watch a
more.
movie? You never want the person to survive. You always want their dog to survive.
Look, as a badger, I have experience with dogs, and no.
No.
Oh, sorry, I'm usually much more.
No, that's okay.
Take your time.
Complete at this time of
Eric, you'll
day.
get into it. It takes like a few minutes. We'll catch up.
Yeah.
Right, we shall skip to the
You
next
feel
one.
bad. It's hungry. It's just.
Artemis says zombies are already dead.
Yeah.
In all
Yeah.
caps.
Are they though?
No, they're not.
It depends on the variety of zombie, doesn't it?
Well, this is my point. I mean, what if they might one day be cured?
Well, then they shouldn't have been trying to bite me, should they?
What if you were what's his name? Will Smith. Then what?
And I'd kill myself.
The fucking dog died in that movie. Let's not talk about that movie. Moving on. That scene with Samantha died. Poor Sam. Hug the dog.
Yeah, don't bring that up. That's traumatic memory. The special effects of that film were traumatic, but
So basically, no one here would have any guilt about killing zombies.
Wait. You guys watch The Walking Dead ever?
No.
Anybody ever did?
No.
yes.
I read the comic back in the day.
Oh, well, it's like I live. You can see on my icon that's my son with the Lucille. We live right near Sonoy, which is where they tape it. So, just sharing that.
I watched season 1 of The Walking Dead, and it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched season 2 of The Walking Dead, and it was all right. Then I watched season 3 of The Walking Dead, and it was there. And then I watched the later seasons of The Walking Dead, and I couldn't keep going with it.
Yeah, no, it's gotten progressively worse, but the first season was pretty good. So, just pointing out that it was really cool because you could see that they chop up the whole town into different seasons, so different parts. You know, even though it's technically like parts of it is in Georgia and parts of it is in Atlanta and Georgia and parts of it is in Virginia. It's all really taped in the same town. So
Rick's characterization got less and less consistent as the show went on.
yeah, we tried watching the first episode from the season, and it was god awful boring. So after 10 years, like my son, who was 16 now, was just like, nope, can't do it anymore. This sucks.
They did bring in Michonne though in the later seasons, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
She's a cool character, but the rest of the show, like around her, was falling apart. And there's just her and Daryl there being awesome, and then the rest of the show is just there.
Just whiny. Yeah, I know what you mean. So.
Nerdy wants
Sorry,
boundaries. Nerdy wants boundaries. Is there a cure? There might be, coincidentally, there might be a cure in 6 to 12 months.
But is there one now?
No.
And then stabbing time.
Then you feel bad once the cure is out.
Sammy says, kill the zombies.
I might feel bad about it once the cure is available, but they were literally trying to eat me, so no.
Yeah.
Do we get to keep their stuff?
Of course. Don't you know how this works?
Only if you keep them alive. Or only if you feel guilty.
This is video game logic. They attacked me, which makes their stuff mine by international law of go fuck yourself.
Yoink.
Superb. Right. Next question. No, that's not the next question. Which I don't actually... I find it odd because I think this question would have meant more 20 years ago. Question 280. What is the most unusual thing that you've ever rented?
One of them things for flattening tarmac on the drive.
Yeah.
What do you call it? A whacker?
I have no idea what you call, but I know what they do. I mean, do you know what we call over here? Do you know what we call over
here? Looking at Eric's face going, did you just say whacker?
Do you know what we call? What do they call?
Steamroller. Wouldn't it be a steamroller?
If it was a big one.
No? Okay. And Eric,
I
we
don't
all
even know what we
it,
call
so.
them. What do we call them, Dave?
I don't know, but what I was going to say. MathPig, do you know what we call... what are the things they dig up a road with? The handheld ones for digging up a road.
Jackhammer.
Yeah, do you know what we call them over here?
A Dave?
No. Call them an Irish hammer.
A what?
What do we call them?
It's an Irish hammer, I think.
An Irish hammer.
Getting dirty early this morning.
You see, I like that expression. I want it to be true, but I've never heard this in my life.
You've never heard it in your life? I'm just wondering whether or not I got it wrong. I'll have to look it up later. It's something like that.
Oh no, it's fine. You've been racist. We're usually racist at least once a show. So.
At least.
Oh no.
Mandatory.
It's only if it's against you.
Oh, come on.
I think a trench digger.
A trench, well, like a little JCB.
Does it look like a sideways chainsaw?
Oh no. Well, a sideways chainsaw.
Well, actually, no, not sideways. Regular. Yeah, it's like a long chainsaw type thing. It just digs into that shit.
Fair enough. I can't even conceive of that.
It's kind of cool to use.
I'm assuming you'd use a digger if you had something bigger.
So it's when I first moved out to Texas, my family got this property out here. They're actually on 23 acres. Does acre mean anything as far as a unit of measurement for you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. 23
Big
acres.
place.
Yeah. But that also meant that we had to run a lot of different things. We had to run electrical lines and things like that. And digging out here in Texas, you get about 6 inches down and you start hitting a lot of stone. So yeah, I needed to rent one of those.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Manda.
Trencher.
I don't know. I mean, we own a golf cart, so
You don't have to hire one of them.
It's throwing that out there, just randomly. Did
no,
you know
because we live on a golf course. So
No. I've played computer games. I know what a golf cart is used for.
Yeah. Gosh, I guess just ice skates. Roller skates.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You don't think about renting them. I suppose the weirdest thing would have to be for me if you went down that route would be bowling shoes, but everyone rents them.
Yeah.
It's just weird to rent a pair of shoes.
Do you actually rent the bowling shoes, or do they just come with the alley?
No, you rent them.
It was a joke.
I'm going to buy my own bowling shoes.
You can.
You could.
And if you rent them, does that mean you individually have to pay for the shoes then? Because, you usually just get handed shoes. So I think Badger's right. They come with the alley.
No, because you can. You can. Well, okay. You used to be able
Well, you
to.
rent usage of the
I may well.
you
I
rent-
may well.
Can I get discounted bowling if I bring my own shoes?
You used to be able to. The shoe rental used to be separate.
So you used to be able to rent bowling shoes.
Yes, you still do.
But
I would understand if it's included in the price. The Artemis says Trencher 2, a ditch witch.
Yep. That is a trend. Yep.
I think next time I rent bowling shoes, then if that's how they're pricing it, I will rent them in the way that Jack Sparrow rents a boat.
Steals them.
It's just interesting kind of looking at things right now because not being able to go outside and rent things or go bowling, it's like we're talking about the before times.
Yes.
Before times.
True.
Or
Back
the
in the
event.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the government said yesterday that our lockdown, in some way, is not going to end until there is a working vaccine.
Well, our
No,
government,
it's sensible.
our president is trying to open us up on May 1st.
Yes.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, but your president looks like an overstuffed sausage.
That's really mean to the sausage, though.
True. I'm sorry to all sausages.
Yeah, sausages are quite good.
No, are they beef sausages or pork sausages? Because if they're pork, they can go and fuck.
I like pork.
Damn.
Jen
That's
says
how you
dog
really
clippers
feel.
to trim fur. A house. I rented a house once. That's not really strange, unless it was a really strange house.
Like I rented a garage as a studio once. That would count.
I think it says horse. There's an R in there.
Rented a horse.
Rented a
Yeah,
horse.
it says I rented a horse, not a house.
Oh,
You're right. I can't read. I told you it's first thing in the afternoon. Hans says,
Man, I'm literally awake 15 minutes, okay?
I never have rented anything weird, but lent a book of paranormal self-defense once.
Would
Why?
renting a sword count?
I could sell you a book. Yes, I could sell you a book of paranormal self-defense.
Oh, does
I didn't know I was on Professor Snape's channel.
the library count?
Fuck.
You rented a library.
Well, if you don't return it, you gotta pay for it.
Turn to page
The whole library?
309.
The whole library. The library book. No.
The whole, well, yeah, fuck the whole library.
What about you? Did you answer, Dave?
No, I didn't. But I'm tempted, given that I get to go with the answer of bowling shoes, or I'd have to go with a garden shredder thing. Chipper, I think they're called.
I think the whole scenario of renting shoes to go bowling is weird, so I'm going to go with that one.
See, that's a good one. Robert says, I rented a Solex last year. Anyone want to tell me what a Solex is?
They rented a what?
Sounds like a Rolex.
Find
But
this. How do you spell it?
I find the renting of clothes very odd. I mean, I find it odd for a wedding, but I find that there's
like
more.
A tux?
Say again?
Yeah.
No, I
Like
find
a
it more in if you look at the fashion and entertainment industry. The amount of clothing rental that goes on, really odd.
What was that? What was that guy in Parks and Recreation? What was his business? It was Rent a Swag.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I've heard of women renting those really expensive purses, like the $20,000 ones. It's weird. It's weird that a purse would cost that, let alone someone would rent it. So
Makes it cheaper. Why would you want to keep? I mean, it's very odd, isn't it, though? Because considering when you seem to get to that level of high fashion, you never want to be seen in the same thing twice.
yeah.
So I think renting makes
Why?
sense. Because that's a thing. You tell me.
that's a thing.
I would much rather be known for like an item of clothing that I wear than be known for always having a new expensive thing.
Fair enough.
Well, there's a place here in Austin that it's just this huge building that is full of really, really high-end costumes. So if you want to go to a costume party or want to dress
Oh
up
yeah, that's a good.
very, very nicely for Halloween, they have, not just, the cheap in plastic costume, but real cloth, or you want to go to Ren Fair or something like that. It's called Lucy in Disguise.
Is
Is
it,
the name of the place.
Eric, is it open all year round though?
It is, and it is a really good first date location.
Oh, okay.
It is fun.
For the beginning of the date or the end of the date? Like you go out and you get the costumes for the date, or for the.
Is there a deposit on the costumes?
Yes.
Gross.
Oh, God damn it. Give me a minute. Oh.
No, that's not what I meant.
Yes,
but,
it is.
What,
You're gross.
No, what I meant, the normal definition of deposit was, do I have to give them money that I can get back if the costume comes back in good condition because of the other
I was
deposit?
going to say, there's deposit in case of deposits.
Yeah.
So essentially, you pay the rental fee, and then they take your credit information, and they're usually very, very lenient, if you're late in returning it. But if a month or two goes by, they try and get a hold of you, and you're just not giving them it back, then they charge you for the full cost of it.
What if I don't have credit information?
Then you don't get the costume, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you might have a hard
You
time.
can probably pay. You could probably leave a cash deposit. I bet you they would have some arrangement for you leaving a couple of $1,000.
No. We're not going to give some random badger just a good suit like that without a deposit.
No,
Maybe
What if I leave Dave as a deposit?
Dave's not worth anything. Well, my knee might be worth something. How much is half a kilo of titanium worth nowadays?
Actually, I rented a pirate costume for Matt once from there. we did a flying spaghetti monster pasta bar, and I went and got Matt Dillahunty ordained in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, and got him his full pirate regalia so that he could christen the booth.
The booth has been blessed.
I'm intrigued at
um,
the hiring of other people costumes.
Apparently, titanium you can get $25 to $38 per kilogram.
So money's not worth anything.
Oh shit!
You know, titanium used to be cool when we were growing up, and
Yeah.
now everybody's after the adamantium.
Yes.
But it's really hard to forge, apparently.
Why? Are there not fake materials that could do it?
I don't know. I'm not blacksmith. I'm a badger. I sit underground.
Right.
What do you want to know about blacksmithing?
I don't. I've taken the piss.
Titanium, difficult to forge. How is?
You really don't want to do the really hard metals like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I picked up blacksmithing actually when I moved out to Texas. It was a
That
good time.
sounds like a real Texas thing to do.
You have no idea.
You see, you've now given everyone images of you in the hot, shirtless, with a hammer, beating away at something. We need
I was
photos.
thinking
I started a cartoon.
I actually did that when a hurricane came through because the power was out and I had my own, little blacksmithing area. And yeah, shirtless with the thunder and lightning. I felt like a lot of thunder. It was fucking amazing. But when I first moved, well, actually no, I'm going to take over your channel. I was going to
No, go for it. This is how it ends up. This is why it's fun. The diversions are why it's fun.
Okay. So when I first moved out to Texas, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have a work prospect. I was just came out to get a new start at things, right? And I was living in the middle of nowhere. I mean, nowhere. I lived 2 miles down a dirt road from my own mailbox. That's how middle of nowhere I was. Terrified to meet the neighbors because I'm right in the middle of Texas. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I go to the next property, someone's going to, big old man with a beard and a shotgun and, get off my property.
That wouldn't be my largest concern. Mine would be, come on my property.
What?
not in deep Texas. But
I can get behind the get off my property people. Not on their property, obviously.
well, never mind. Anyway,
Go on.
I wind up meeting the neighbors, and there was actually this this girl. Her name was Carrington, and she was in her early 20s, and she lived there with her mother and brother. And she and her girlfriend at the time had their own home there on the property next door. And Carrington had a blacksmith shop. And she was a college student and a waitress at a local restaurant, and all the other waitresses would go to this little metal shop, and they were learning and teaching themselves how to become metalsmiths. And so they were doing engraving and making knives and all kinds of artwork and things like that. And they brought me in, and that's kind of how I got through my depression before really starting in at the ACA. Is they taught me patience and just, hey, here's how you work steel. And eventually we wound up getting a forge, and forging was a really big deal. They're like, you're going to blacksmith. So I learned to blacksmith. They said, okay, now you're going to learn how to two-step. I hated country music, but they all listen to country music. So what are you going to do? But we'd be working till late at night. And I remember the music would be going, and one of the girls would go, oh my gosh, I love this song. And they'd grab me by the hand and pull me out, and I'd be out at the out on the driveway of the shop, just under this beautiful stars in Texas that just go on forever because there's only natural light, and learning to two-step under the stars. And so they said, okay, we're going to take you to the dance hall. And so I went and learned how to two-step at the dance hall. And they're like, okay, now you can learn how to ride horses. And so I learned how to ride horses and started wearing cowboy boots. They cowboyed me the fuck up when I moved out. Holy shit.
I feel like I should move to Texas.
Pictures or it happened. Pictures or it didn't happen.
I'll send you a picture.
Hell yeah.
I've been watching a lot of blacksmith shows recently, and all the good ones seem to be in America.
The problem is all the good ones in the UK are in Yorkshire by people over 70.
Yeah, well, I know several blacksmiths in the UK, and they're all boring. they repair antique fences.
That's because that's where the
And
money
that's
is.
about it. Occasionally, someone will order a sword from them, and the rest of the time they're just repairing antique fences.
How many series of Forged in Fire did you get through? I think I went through 6 or 7 before I got bored.
I'm still watching Forged in Fire at the moment.
Right.
It will kill.
Sal, did you answer the question?
I did rent a garage as a studio apartment once, and I made it work. And then when it got really, really cold, I regretted it and got the fuck out of it.
It's a garage. You can have a big fire in the middle.
Yeah. Have a little stove in there.
Right.
There we go. There we go.
Ah.
That is
Nice.
all outside.
Oh, was that a cat, Jim? Jungle Jim?
He's got the anvil.
No, it's a forge.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yeah, you see the anvil there? The
Yeah.
giant fuck off anvil.
You went like all for it, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Right, Doc says, Eric, did you know that before the invention of the blacksmith's forge, people had to melt metal by lighting their farts, hence the term smelting?
Oh no.
Oh,
Right.
first impression, Steve. You can't make them again.
No, I know. It's great, isn't it?
MathPig, why are you not a floating head yet?
Because I was literally awake about 15 minutes and I panicked. I sent Eric the link, went, fuck, I'm late. Fuck. Holy fuck. Hit the fuck. Fuck. Hit the fuck.
Right, question 281. Should classic books have elements removed/changed to fit modern sensibilities?
Oh, I hate when that shit happens and they can't read a book anymore in school because it's offensive.
No, it should not. No, that should not happen.
I'm trying to think of a situation where it would be good if it did. I'm having trouble here.
Where I got this question from, suggested Huckleberry Finn, which I don't recall, so I don't know whether or not it's a book that would benefit from it.
No.
Oh yeah, and
If we could do this with like in 50 years' time with anything published by Disney related to Star Wars, so that it doesn't exist anymore, that'd be fine.
no,
Badger,
especially
Hello.
with Huckleberry Finn. If you kind of whitewash over it, then you stop learning the lessons that you did as a society. I mean,
What's
the-
the point of
Agreed,
reading it,
but-
Laura?
are there not other lessons that the book has?
Yeah, there are, but it's an important one when you have an opportunity to sit down with a child and go, you know what? Hey, this directly talks about racism. You know, let's talk about that. Then it's a teaching opportunity.
To Kill a Mockingbird was the one that was removed from my high school. I read it when I was at school and then it was removed.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
We read it. We watched the movie, the play.
I love the movie. For a black and white movie, I do not like black and white movies, but that really did take the book very well. And yeah, it helped me cheat that class. It was great.
Is calling it a black and white movie racist?
Oh, Dave.
Sorry.
Grey movie. Did you see the Grey movie?
Slap you dead.
Well, it's like taking what was her name, Mammy, out of Gone with the Wind. You know, it just wouldn't make sense. No, there are teaching moments in books and movies and shit. So,
You know,
Books I read at school were Of Mice and Men and Holes. There were others, but those were the ones that we kind of looked into a lot.
But does that mean that we are going to lose some literature?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well,
Because people are too uncomfortable reading it to read it.
because it's not relevant. I totally agree with everything you say about history and within that context. Okay, but there are things that when time moves on, it is only a historical thing. It will hopefully only be a historical thing, if that makes sense. When it's one of those things where at school, when my daughter was at school and they used the word gay, it didn't mean anything. It only became meaningful when adults gave it meaning. So they would use it as an insult without any clue what it was meaning, no maliciousness behind it, no derogatory behind it.
No.
Right? So the point
Friends
is,
still use it that way.
yes, I'm not saying they don't, but I'm trying to make the point that if society moves forward to a point where we do not have these things, then the only value they have is about teaching about that this is behaviour in the past.
What?
Does that make sense? I mean, I'm hopeful for society. Maybe I'm too hopeful for society.
Okay, so
No, you have a very good point. That's kind of how we've moved the world. That's why we have different points of views, cultures, and religions, because that happens. Things will be put aside and forgotten, or not so much forgotten, but not taken as serious as they are now. Time changes.
Why couldn't you have an adaptation of an older book that is
That's what
relevant to new things, but where it's not just taking the old book and changing a few words. It's a new story inspired by that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You know, there is something to be said though about racist characters that are portrayed just for laughs. You know, one that gets me is my own heritage. You know, I'm Mexican, and I look at some of the old Speedy Gonzalez cartoons, and I never thought twice about his sidekick Slowpoke Jones.
Yeah.
Like this. And I thought, okay, that's silly. But as an adult, I've heard a lot of people put on what they think is a Mexican accent, and they go straight to Slowpoke Jones, and like it's interesting that a lot of it kind of taught these negative racial stereotypes. It also makes me think of minstrel shows. Where's the place of the minstrel show in the way that we look at history? Well, it's not something that I would want children to see without talking to them as a parent, or someone to go, you know what, this is a portrayal that you don't want to take with you because it looked funny.
Do you have over there? We have a problem at the moment. Okay, we got all sorts of problems, but this is an interesting one because it's dying out. Okay, we have these things called Morris dancers.
Oh God, why are you bringing them up? What does that got to do with anything?
Right, because Morris dancers, right? They are very old traditional dancers that do very weird things. Anyway, the point is, what they do what we would now call as black up.
Oh, blackface.
Right. But the point is,
dancers do that.
Have you never seen? It's not all done. It's again, it's a traditional thing in certain things. Okay, but the problem is, this predates anything. This is hundreds of years old. This has got absolutely nothing to do with race. But they are criticised.
Stuff on your face is inherently racist.
This is the point, right? But they are criticised because it used to be very common, but lots of groups stopped doing it because of racial insensitivities, and there's very few that are doing it now. And it's this thing that is, they're trying to keep it going because it is tradition, and other people are saying they should just give it up.
So the argument that as tradition means fuck all to me, because over here in the United States there are a lot of people who fly Confederate flags.
Yes, I completely agree.
And the whole argument, it's tradition, has become a veiled way for a lot of people who want to dog whistle their racism, to say, well, it's heritage, not hate.
Yeah.
And when it starts getting into that, then we need to start coming up with better arguments, because
yes, I agree.
Does not fly, because if we wanted to be traditional, we'd go back to slave ownership here in the United States and take the vote away from people other than
but there has to be a line there, though.
Land owning people. So, well, I mean, what about beating your kids? That's traditional.
No, I agree, and I have a problem. Again, you want to go down that route. I have a problem with the way we have ended up where we've ended up with that, because the debate was never had.
So I think I don't know. I think tradition is just a poor argument.
But then, what would you not class as tradition? And you could dismiss anything then that's you could dismiss any
that people have done in the past and still do.
Yes,
Sure.
but how long ago is my point being that
Sure. So I think any excuse that you have to gather together the people that you love, to tell them that you love them, to have a feast, and to drink and give each other gifts and things like that, those are wonderful. And any excuse we have for them, I'll take.
right? But when okay, taking for your example, what if that is done around a Confederate flag, and that is part of that family's tradition?
Well, no, okay. So
Well,
here's how I look at it. I live in the South too, Eric. I'm not from here. You know that. I'm from New England, and we have, especially in Atlanta, there is in fact, probably the majority of Atlanta is minority, as opposed to the suburbs, which tend to be more, redneck, white, whatever. And I feel like if you have something that is clearly hurtful and offensive to an entire group of people, then that should really be questioned. I'm not saying no freedom of speech or whatever, but it's not like they're flying the flag because they fondly remember the Civil War and they want to.
Unfortunately, I think the flag is a terrible thing to use as an example, because it's so rewritten history in the context of it, of how it's moved along. I mean, from an external point of view, if you actually look at, I don't know what it's like to live in it, but from an external point of view, it's fantastic. We've gone through. I'm 41, and I've lived through.
You're not 41.
I am. I've lived through it. Not
2 million years old, though.
I've lived through the Confederate flag becoming something that was not nostalgic, but just something that was, and it was kind of a novelty. And in the last 30 years, it has got more and more relevant to people that had no concept of it.
Well, so yeah, if you want another story on that one, I'd be happy. But I think a more relevant piece would be, let's talk about Christmas. I celebrate Christmas. I don't know how many of you do, but okay. So do you celebrate the Nativity?
Nope.
No? Okay, nope. So keep the part that you like and get rid of the part that sucks.
Yes.
If you traditionally gather around the Confederate flag or whatever other, keep the part where you gather around. You don't have to keep the shitty part.
Yeah, but the point is do you have the right to tell other people to do that? If we go, okay, let's try. I'm going to scratch that. Let's try and go back to the question a little bit, right? Sure. Do you have a right to tell other people to change their books to get rid of those bits?
I've got one little thing I want to add on the Morris stance.
Go on.
If I can. If you want to just move on from it, that's fine.
No, go on. Briefly.
Which is, I do think it is a bit arrogant of someone from, not someone, but like a group or culture from somewhere else who is offended by something to come into someone else's culture and go, you can't do that anymore.
Yes.
Especially if that thing is completely unconnected to the history of why it's offensive to this other group.
Agreed.
That being said, I think there is an element of just people, if people are going to mix and get on with each other, they do need to kind of consider, well, this person is upset by this. We need to think about how we can deal with that. And I think there needs to be some give and take in both directions in that regard.
Yes, I completely agree.
And yeah, I don't want to. I forgot where that sentence was going, so I'll just leave it.
I mean, the problem I've got is I have watching the last 10 years and watching what were relatively innocent, and you're going to end up using the word dog whistle, but relatively innocuous words, symbols, to rally around and give them meaning. And then that meaning is jumped upon. But Say again?
That's just the function of language, though.
It is, but it seems that how it has been done seems more dishonest. And I don't know if that's true, because I don't think it's like I don't think. Okay, let's, for example, I will take it's the reverse engineering in the brain. Okay, if you take the Brexit vote, when I spoke to Brexit voters before the referendum, not one of them, or very few of them, I know, thought that we would leave the single market. They thought the single market was separate from the EU, and so leaving the EU would not leave me leaving the single market.
Stop bringing up these things that we're on opposite sides.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Right now, the point being, after the referendum and after it was said we were going to leave the single market, I spoke to various different people again, and they were all convinced that they were voting to leave the single market. So the term Brexit became to incorporate leaving the single market. Now that's not what they voted for. They voted for lots of various different reasons, but that wasn't one of them. And it's maybe it's the issue is the mass media that has allowed this massive change of ideas, change of meaning of words over time, very quickly. I'm gabbling. Yes.
This is a fun show. We have a weird combination of sort of just, would you feel sad for killing zombie type questions?
I know, and then seriously, well, that's the point. Right, okay, I'm going to apologise and go back to the question, because I don't think we're fairly certain we agree. Should classic books have elements removed, changed to fit modern sensibilities?
No.
No, and I think the answer is universally no.
Yeah.
Even if it means we lose some literature, ultimately.
I do you really lose it? I mean,
you do from the common. If you take the top 1,000 books that are read by most people growing up, it falls out of that list. That's the point. It's not that it goes away; it's still there. It's just that it doesn't get read anymore. We lose it in that sense.
Well, but then you just get to learn more about history. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to update Shakespeare. I would want to read Shakespeare the way it was written, by the Bard. I wouldn't want to have.
Yes, but you can't. It's been updated. You can't read it the way it was written by the Bard. The Bard only wrote it in individual pieces for individual actors. It was put together by other people.
Also, the language now is completely different to the language then.
Yes.
But I think you know what he meant, though.
Yeah. No, I think you interpret what they meant based upon. I'm going to say what they meant. The Bible.
I think you know what Eric meant when he said that, though.
Yes, I do. I understand. But what he wants is he wants to read the words as they were understood as he grew up.
No.
As I grew up, no. I needed to learn about the time to understand the context.
I think
that was my first kind of foray into hermeneutics, and that kind of spurred on my want to learn about those kinds of so. Okay,
before I move on, I have to read Tony's comment, mostly because he is an American. Okay, so top 1,000 books. You can tell he's not an American.
Can you read Trainbeck's comment as well?
Couldn't read growing up? Or is there another one?
I don't think it's necessarily bad that things go out of the top 1,000 or 100 or whatever books that people read growing up, because the books are still there. You can still go and read them if you have an interest in that period.
Yes.
But if the things that happened in that period are not as relevant to the things happening now, it's not necessary to read them with such historical importance.
Yes.
You can just. I want to learn about this period. I'm going to read some literature from this period and see what it was like.
I mean, I find it very interesting now to read things, and I find it annoying that the idea that you can just pull out a phone The number of stories that you follow a story, and the point is about who knows what when.
Mhm.
And the amount of time it takes information to travel between places, especially the older you get with books. And now every story has to have the ability to pull out a phone and to phone them. And it annoys me, like with the new Doctor Who, where they find something out. They found something profound, and it shows repeatedly these people have got phones and they don't phone each other.
Yeah.
See that in stories featuring me, that works fine because I don't pick up the phone.
You would, if there was something that profound.
How would I know if I didn't pick it up to hear it?
I bet you'd tell someone.
Some unknown human is phoning me. I ain't picking that thing up.
That's true, though.
I like that.
You don't have to answer your phone anymore, especially if you don't know it.
I like that she says we trolled her stream. She started it.
Who is Lucy?
Lucy Luxor. She's internet famous.
Well, I would tell you, but the button to go to the person's channel doesn't exist anymore.
No.
We've had this discussion.
Lucy's good fun, don't worry.
She is. Right. Question 282. Do you ever secretly wonder if you were the new Jesus?
Nope.
I asked a similar question to this before.
Did
'cause
I?
I remember saying something about Angel, so. But that's okay.
Was that an
I
Antichrist one?
tried turning water into Buckfast. It did not work, so probably not New Jesus.
You don't know that he had that skills initially.
Yeah, it's true.
Have you tried walking on a puddle?
No, I have never walked through a puddle in Ireland. Never happened. Doesn't rain here.
If I'm secretly Jesus, fuck.
Can I be the Antichrist? I could do that better.
I don't think you get to
think you
pick these
are.
things.
I don't think I could do that either.
New Jesus, same great taste, less filling.
You know,
That sounds well dodgy.
It was questions like this that when I was in school led me to realize that this whole shit was bullshit, because there was all that confusion that you're God's children. So it's like, wait a minute, am I Jesus? And it just led to more and more stupid confusion. And I was like, man, this is bullshit. But yeah, I did think about being Jesus. Why not? What would it be like? Do I get perks? Oh, that's a question. Do I get perks as Jesus?
I don't think the question is like, would you be Jesus? I think the question is, have you ever thought that you were Jesus? Am I wrong, Dave?
Yeah, no. It's have you ever, especially if you didn't know. Do we know that Jesus knew? Is it knowledge that came upon you as you grew up?
When I turn water into wine, is it good wine?
It's whatever wine you want if you can get to that level of skill.
Hold
I was
on.
gonna
Hold
say
on.
it's
Hold
bullshit.
on. If you're
So I can
doing
do miracles?
straight into Manischewitz. I don't know. Now I'm kind of thinking about the theological food line that I would make.
Jesus, genuine Jesus
I went to a
wine.
cathedral and they were selling divine chocolate, and I was like, that's how are they getting away with that? And then I thought,
Right?
what else could belong on the shelf? You know, like Jesus pieces. I don't know.
Jesus pieces. They just give them out on the Sundays.
Yeah, it's sacrilegious.
They're really dry and not that great.
Okay, sorry, I'm way off here. I need more caffeine.
good question. Eric. Cheese or chocolate?
What was that?
Cheese or chocolate, Eric?
No. If you're going to go down that route, I have to give you the actual question.
Oh, Jesus.
But I can't remember the number.
What?
Okay. Would you prefer, if you had to give up one, you were never allowed to eat the other again, to eat one again? Would it be cheese or chocolate?
Fuck you.
There you go. It's a perfect answer. Why did you not think of that?
Most of us chose chocolate.
How can you choose chocolate? The chocolate is horrible. I mean, sorry, cheese is horrible.
Dave,
No, I
you're
was.
silly.
You have to keep chocolate.
Yeah.
Did you say cheese is horrible?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck stream am I on?
No, cheese isn't horrible, but I choose chocolate over cheese.
How can you hate pizza with chocolate? It doesn't work.
It doesn't taste. You can have.
Somebody did a
Did I miss
chocolate
something?
pizza on one
Chocolate
of
pizza?
somebody did a chocolate pizza on one of Gordon Ramsay's shows, and he spat it out and told them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. No, Jesus Christ.
No. I
That's
couldn't
just
live without
upsetting.
chocolate, so.
That hurts.
Lucy, stop objectifying Eric.
We're just continue.
Yeah.
Well, the worst thing is she wasn't here for the blacksmith talk.
Oh dear. Scroll back like 40 minutes. There's a whole thing.
Oh God.
Lucy, I get paid to be here, but I do love supporting content creators, and I love that everybody's out here doing this, keeping each other company during the coronavirus, bullshit, and anything I can do to help and support people who I think are nice and kind and promoting awesome dialogue.
Even if they don't like
You were
cheese.
nice and kind until you came on the show.
Yeah, and then we started talking about blackface. I'm
We have to touch on racist. There has to be some racist.
Between that and the no cheese, he's never coming back again.
I mean, I can understand fake cheese. I can live in a world without cheese whiz, but cheese, man,
Cheese or chocolate, like if you had to.
fuck you. Please.
See, now we're asking the difficult questions.
Right?
Yeah. See, I had a lot of trouble with it, but damn it, there's chocolate. I could drink milk, and have yogurt, but chocolate, there's no other version of chocolate other than chocolate.
I literally put cheese on most of my food, so.
But you could not and have food that tastes nice instead.
Oh, fuck off.
How would
Dave.
I achieve this
Fucking
without cheese, Dave?
I didn't know that.
Controversial opinions. This is an anti-cheeses channel.
Yeah, okay. Let's go back to less controversial things. Let's talk about Brexit again.
Hey, that is a point, though. We should have a Brexit discussion at some point, Dave.
Yeah, have
We
fun
don't.
with that,
As long as you don't bring up cheese, we'll be okay.
How can you have a Brexit discussion without bringing up cheese?
So actually, that's an interesting point.
You guys have the Brexit discussion, and we'll have the Trump discussion. It'll be a whole fun fucking day. How about that?
I already said he looks like an overstuffed sausage.
And I said that's mean to the sausage. So
Apparently, Dave is a cheese conspiracist,
Yep.
yes.
and Robert calls you all chocolate haters.
Yep.
Right, question 283. Thanks to Nerdy, a nerdy sponsored question.
Oh,
Another one? No, we don't like.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure I can support any snail pushery.
Would you rather sit in a tub of cream for 2 hours or a bath of cow dung for 10 minutes?
What kind of cream?
Wait, say that one more time.
Kind of.
Would you rather sit in a tub of cream for 2 hours or a bath of cow dung for 10 minutes?
Why would that be a choice?
Yeah, cream would be really good for your
Like,
skin
this
too.
is gonna be a rabbit hole. This is easy.
What kind of cream, Dave?
What type of cows? Are they Frisian?
Double cream, not whipped.
Double cream.
Yeah.
And are the cows those fancy looking blow dried ones?
What?
Okay. I see where you're going.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
Because
Hang on.
types of cows. So, if it's a pretty cow, does it have pretty shit or
No. It's just no. Okay.
Hang on. Let's see if I can find
So they have these
blow-dried
like
cow.
milk baths and stuff, so cream would be really good for your skin.
Mhm.
So obviously cream.
Okay. Can I make this happen?
That's what I'm saying. Like this is kind of.
But you've got to be in it for 2 hours.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, being in anything for 2 hours is gonna suck. Yeah.
10
Here
minutes of
we are.
I-
Blow-dried cows.
so much disease and dung.
I
That's
actually,
my hairy cows. Yeah.
that was one of the things that I did when I first locked myself away for this pandemic. Is I looked in my closet and I saw that I had a bath bomb, and I was like, oh, ooh, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And, no, baths suck.
No, Eric.
See, that is pretty
On the
cow.
bath bomb.
Hmm.
You have to sit on the bath bomb itself.
What?
Ah.
What the hell?
Oh,
Yeah, because it fizzles under your butt and it's a nice feeling.
Is it now? Is this something? This is a new sexual thing I knew nothing about.
Okay.
but,
Is it like a hair dryer thing?
but regardless, it's the water's either too hot or it's just meh. You got about like I don't know, a 30-second window of perfect bath, and then other than that, it sucks. And I came out like a boiled lobster, and smelling of lavender. I mean, I could not get the I was just
Order
I
a bath
tried to
bomb and just go sit on it. It's a 5-minute thing, and it won't matter the temperature. Trust me, it'll be lovely.
There are
You'll
better
enjoy it.
things to sit on that make you fizz.
I try to make baths. I don't do baths very much. So I normally do showers.
that's the quote of the
But-
day right there.
When I have a bath, I try to make it a whole magical experience. I'll have the scented candles and the dimmed lights and the whole thing going on.
Okay, I've done that too. Can I ask your advice? How do you stop crying?
Fine.
Wine.
I light the candles. I get the wine.
You
But
just have to let it out.
Or wine.
You just have to let it. You just have to let it flow until it's done. It's
Yeah,
like the
you're-
rain
You're in the
image.
bathtub, so you're wet anyway. It's
Yeah.
all good.
You-
It's all good.
You just have to let it. You just have to let it all out and hope that it doesn't cool down your bath too much.
Gary says Eric plus lavender. Could this guy be any nicer?
Oh god.
Also, what was
Right.
the question?
I've forgotten. Spooky says I have 3-hour baths, then sell the water to 2 people on the panel. Well, it's not me. So which 2 of it is 2 of you? Is it?
We weren't supposed to mention that, Spooky. I think I'd go for the cream.
You think 2 hours of cream?
Oh, that's what the question is. Okay.
Yeah, because as a badger, I burrow, so I encounter the cow shit enough.
I mean, Maud points out a good point. The cream would be cold.
Oh fuck you! What?
The cream
You
would be
didn't say
cold.
that.
Yeah.
No. Hold
Why
on.
would the cream be cold?
Yeah.
Of course
Well,
it would.
then
It's
it's
cream. It
cold.
has to be cold. Either that or it's rancid.
Cold.
Do you know how cream comes out of a cow? It doesn't come out refrigerated.
It's been again. It doesn't come. Cream doesn't come out of a cow, does it?
Well, not directly.
You know
You've
what
got
I
to do some
mean.
stuff to it first.
What do you wait, what? Put down a really weird fucking path.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening now.
I'd go with the cream, but I'd like it slightly warm.
Slightly warm.
Only slightly.
Only slightly. Well, 10 degrees.
You don't want it
Put a bath bomb in it.
You don't want it to curdle.
10 degrees.
I'm not a fan of refrigerated baths.
Oh, right. I'll go with the next question. We're assuming everyone's going cream here.
Bath after this stream.
Say that again?
What?
I missed that.
I said I might need a refrigerated bath after this stream.
Right.
Can we not scare him away just yet?
Just yet.
I'd like him to come on my channel for a chat.
You just have to tell him I'm not going to be there.
It's just gonna be me there. There's no cheese haters.
I like that. Why is the cream colder than the shit when the sauce is the same?
Exactly. Thank you, Artemis. Okay.
Sorry, question 284. What is the worst superpower?
Ooh. There's actually a canon X-Men character that has the worst superpower.
Is that Booster Gold?
He's not X-Men, you dickhead.
Oh, I don't know, do I?
What could you, Dave?
He has the ability to blow himself up, but he can.
Oh,
only...
that guy.
You can only do it once.
Yeah.
And then what happens to him?
And then he's blown the fuck up.
Well, see, if you had just stopped at blown himself, then I'm sure
That would be an excellent superpower. I would not be on the stream. I would not have it.
That would be a better use for the giraffe neck.
I have tried. I can't reach.
See, I told you I picked right. So I'm the only one who picked the giraffe neck.
Okay, so we've got the guy who can blow himself up once.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, I have a question. How did he know?
So there was somebody else who was able to test him and found out what it was. I forget exactly how he found out, but it was.
Is this dangerous to anyone but him?
No, he actually did it. He took out a city block.
Oh, okay.
Anyone in the city block.
I was going to say that if he just kind of just goes and splats everywhere and then doesn't harm anyone, it just kind of makes a mess. That'd be even worse.
Yeah.
Okay, so that there we go. That power, but it's useless.
Ooh.
Did you guys see The Boys by any chance?
Yes.
The
The
Boys.
invisible guy?
Have you read The Boys?
No, I haven't. I haven't read it yet, and I want to, but yeah.
So the only person that I've been able to get to read The Boys is Rachel Oates. Please read The Boys.
What is The Boys?
I will.
So fucking good.
What about
Absolutely.
Wait, what is The Boys?
Really, Dave?
I've never heard.
The Boys?
It's a very adult comic. Don't watch the series on Amazon before you read the comic.
Is it the American superhero web television series or that's based on a thing?
Read the comic that it's based on.
Hang on, let me find the comic book of the same name. The Boys.
Yeah, I believe it's Garth Ennis.
So Wikipedia tells me.
Yeah, Garth Ennis also did. Have you seen Preacher or read the comic Preacher?
I love Preacher.
Same guy.
Love Preacher.
Same guy.
Is it? I did not
Yes.
know. Okay. That makes sense, though.
Right?
And I have read Preacher. So.
Okay, if we're gonna get into comics, I'm gonna geek out real hard. Let's.
You know who actually atheist pastor does a comic book thing. He actually used to own a comic book shop, and he does a comic book show every once in a while. So
That's awesome.
you're coming on our show in a couple weeks. I will hook you up, and I'm sure he would love to do a separate comic book show with you.
That would be really fun.
I'm wondering whether I should pitch to you the idea of a comic book chat or a blacksmithing chat.
Roger, I know you can show pictures on your screen and Dave can't. I'm going to tweet you a picture if you pull it up on your screen.
All right.
Ooh, Doc Fierce. The ability to turn invisible, but only when no one's looking at you. That was
Mystery Man.
Mystery Man. Yes.
I was gonna.
How'd you know you're invisible?
Exactly.
Because you can't see your own hands.
There
But
go,
you are
Badger.
looking
I
then.
DM'd you on Twitter.
Where did you in the private? Yeah,
Yeah,
there it
just DM'd you on Twitter. Yeah.
is. Right, give me a sec.
You know what? The turning invisible thing might be like if let's say you're robbing a bank by yourself. There's no one there, but you're invisible.
The cameras can't see you.
Yeah, that might be useful.
Okay, what about something like the superpower that just likes to fuck you about? Like you're invisible, but only when you're playing the trombone.
What?
What?
But then you start to get into curse territory. Like at that point, it does have to have at least a marginal benefit.
Yeah.
Like even the guy who could blow himself up, that means that he got to martyr himself.
Why does it do this when I save images and it just adds things to the file name so they don't work?
Ooh, Robert,
One of the-
that's a curse for sure. Being able to let other people read your mind, but not being able to block them.
Oh, yeah. One of the funny things
I read
about
a book about that.
the invisible guy in The Boys, though, is that, you know, like
Yep.
it should be, if he wants to be invisible, he needs to be naked because his clothes aren't invisible.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever he appears to people after, like, being invisible, he's just standing there stark fucking naked.
Where the hell did you get that picture from?
If I could just draw your attention to my screen for a second.
Whoa. Where the fuck did you get that?
I got it from the DMs with MathPig because he just asked me to put it up.
I'm asking MathPig where you got it.
Well, that might have to be the thumbnail.
Yeah, I got it. I just made it there now.
You just
I'll send it to Dave and it can be the thumbnail.
that is fucking awesome.
Where have I put it though? Ah, there it is.
Okay, so there's a comic called Chew. If you've read Chew, that's an interesting superpower.
Turn your images off.
What's the superpower?
So he's basically a psychic for things that he eats.
What?
Yeah, so if he bites into a burger, he can get the entire history of like the bread, the wheat growing in the field and when it was harvested. But he also gets the slaughter of the cow and the pain and the fear and the, living in a cramped whatever, and just all of it. And it's so traumatizing that he's not able to eat really anything. But
so if I had that and I bit someone,
he doesn't get a read on beets, so he eats a lot of beets.
Is he bright red?
I'm sure his urine is. But the interesting thing is, he winds up coming across a murder, and they're trying to find out who killed the person. And it just
Oh no!
Can it be raw, or does he have to cook it?
No, he doesn't have to cook it. So he just a little bit of the victim and finds out exactly who the murderer was. It's interesting.
So if he was just walk up and bite someone, would that work?
Does he
Or
have
would
to
he
swallow?
Actually swallow?
Or can he spit?
You're not. No, that is low hanging fruit. To the spit or swallow conversation. No.
You brought him up.
Shame. No.
Dave, I think we need to go back from the fucking beginning and bring Eric in on all of this because he is one of the best.
There's a whole series of questions that we've been going through for some time now. Like about 2/3 of them are silly questions, and about 1/3 of them just take over the entire stream with some like ethical conversation that we go back and forth on.
Okay.
Dave's also working on a stream after dark.
After dark, yeah. But we all have to come up with questions for it too, though. We have to help because Dave's had to do all of this by himself. So.
I'm not sure you want me to come up with questions.
Nerdies have been quite good up until now.
No. No.
I'll come up with some questions if you like.
As long as it's
Considering
not
your email address, yeah, we will let it be.
Right, do we
Yeah,
have?
I can email you questions.
Oh, wait, I've got to do the chat. Just wait. Let me catch up on the chat. Otherwise, do we have consensus on?
What was the question?
Oh, I never even answered.
No, this is it. Let's let me do the chat, and then I'll get back to you guys. Right.
Sorry, yes, the people on the panel will wait. Go
Yes.
ahead.
We've been ignoring them forever. Let others read your mind, but not being able to block them is a crappy superpower. If everyone can read your mind, fair enough. The ability to change the colour of your urine at will. Not having a superpower. I don't know how that one works. Spider powers that will only work when you want to let go of something.
Spider pig. perspective.
Spider Pig doesn't have what Spider Pig does.
He's like from a web.
Never needing to eat, but always feeling super hungry.
Oh.
How are these superpowers?
Yeah.
These are tricky.
Comment from Nerdy. How long do you think Eric will last?
Wait, in what context?
See, this is the great.
Morton, being able to turn green like the Hulk, but without the strength that usually follows. Robert, only useful for hiding in the woods.
That's why nobody's seen Bigfoot.
I'm sorry, Eric. That was Nerdy's fault. It's always Nerdy's fault.
It's always Nerdy's fault.
We don't
I hear he
play
pushes
MathPig
snails.
anymore.
Yeah, that's why there's a hashtag blame MathPig.
No, not anymore.
I knew that Nerdy Rodent pushes snails. He's a mean boy.
He's a mean boy. Spartan says, being able to fool yourself into thinking God does not exist.
Who says that?
He's the only Christian in the chat.
Spartan theology, which is really weird because God the Good One came in just after.
You should read my comment as well, Dave.
You want me to email you too?
Eliminate pedantic people. Hold on, we would all be gone.
Yes. She. Okay. We're, at some point, we have to do a very special Lucy Luxor episode, where people are only allowed one word answer to every question, and it has to be given within 10 seconds.
Shit.
Oh, way too hard. No.
I usually blurt my answers out before the rest is anyway, so I win that one.
All right, Dave.
Yeah.
You should read my my comment because
Your comment.
Yeah.
You emailed me about questions. My address is badger@cock.li.
thank you.
You just like to swing your cock about.
Right, I have a good bad superpower. Is that you can read animals' thoughts, but only in the their sounds. So like you listen to your dog sound like thoughts, but it would just be woof woof woof. So,
That's cruel.
that's superpower. What?
That would be cruel. I would hate that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It sucks.
Ooh.
Okay, how about
You just reminded me of something. Remind me after the stream is over to tell you about my really embarrassing tattoo.
Okay.
Writing that down.
okay? How about a superpower where you can turn into an animal, but it's like a really shit animal?
Like what?
Like
Badger.
Like a badger.
I knew this was as soon as I started talking. I knew this was going to happen. What would be a really shit animal? Just
A snail.
you best not join in on the snail pushing.
I'm not pushing snails. Jessa says,
Given what is an example then?
A sea cucumber.
a sea cucumber. Sure.
Is that your safety word?
You can do pretty much nothing apart from eat with your bum.
Just seen that in Rick and Morty the other day. That's the safety word.
What Rick and Morty? Is there new Rick and Morty?
No. I was rewatching Rick and
Oh.
Morty because it's coming out at the end of the month of the episode.
Wait, is it finally? Because we've only been waiting, 6 months now?
Yep.
Not that long, but still close. Tangent, sorry.
Sorry. All right. Do we have okay? Do we have any consensus on what the worst superpower is?
My vote is invisibility that only works when you're playing the trombone.
What was your answer, Dave?
I haven't given an answer.
Well, you never do. We always have to ask you specifically because you always try to get away with not answering. You know that, right?
Ooh.
Whatever Eric's about to say is my answer.
Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. His
Oh, the sweaty guy.
moist. Yeah.
Yes.
Moist.
Go on. I don't know that one. Moist.
How have you not seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That is
Oh
your
my-
homework.
I literally live under a rock.
Vlog. I will not be on anyone else's stream until you watch Dr. Horrible's long vlog.
Doctor what?
Shit, no,
I'm gonna write that down now. What is it? Doctor what?
Dr. Horrible sing-along vlog.
Yes.
Horrible.
Is it on the YouTube?
Yeah.
Sing
Okay,
along.
here we
vlog.
go.
It might not be anymore, but I
No,
know
you
where
can't
to
watch
find
it now.
No, not really, but it's so it's so it's starring Neil Patrick Harris.
Right.
And then have you seen Firefly?
Yep.
Nathan Fillion is the bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's better.
Yes,
He's better in
I
Buffy,
have
but
seen
yeah.
one
Captain
bit
Hammer.
from this.
That's right. The hammer is his penis.
Now you tell me that I have seen one bit from it, which is one bit from it apart from that the hammer is the penis.
It's got Felicia Day in it.
Right. Nerdy says the ability to change the smell of your own farts.
No, because
You know?
you could use that.
Oh, I thought
That
you
might
could
be
use that.
interesting, Yeah.
'Cause that would give you scent invisibility.
Yeah.
You could
smell roses.
you could
exactly.
distract. You could use that as a distraction while robbing somewhere. You could use it as a romantic thing to just fart pleasant smells across your date.
Yeah, but it would still be farts, and they'd know about
you,
it.
You get to change it after it is released from your body because you could leave it smelling lovely and then run out of the room and click your fingers and all of a sudden it smells like slurry and everybody's like, what the hell is that smell?
That sounds like something Q would do.
Is that no? That sounds like the thingy from the the other Jesus in Family Guy.
The other Jesus.
It turns everything into poo. So it keeps buying Mary gifts.
Oh no.
Haven't seen that one.
I'm just going to put Poo Jesus into YouTube.
I bet that'll come up. Grumpy Old Dude says, worst superpower, the knowledge to sexually pleasure anyone, but not the ability.
Ooh.
A lot of people think they've got that power.
Poo Jesus, there we are.
Morton asks, would the trombone be invisible too?
No.
No. Scare the crap out of people random playing
You
trombone.
are invisible, the trombone is not, and you have to be actively playing it. You can't just be holding it.
Right, how long? But is there a gap given the way that music works? How long can there be silence?
As long as it's aesthetically pleasing. No, that doesn't work actually, because if you don't like trombone music, that's all the time. As long as it is rhythmically coherent with the rest of the music.
So you could play the silence song, like 2.5 minutes.
No, because the forces that be would define that as cheating.
The forces that be. God says rehypnal farts.
As long as you fart and leave, you're okay.
Okay, I think we're going to go to another question. I think we've reached the bottom. Question 285. When do you become an adult? Please, someone tell me. I'm waiting.
Nobody here has, so we're still waiting.
Still waiting on that.
Legally,
Collective lie
mentally,
we tell ourselves.
responsibility.
Getting older is inevitable, but growing up is a choice.
But you were born aged 40.
What?
That's a really shit superpower. Put that on the previous question.
All right.
Go on. When do you think you become an adult?
Me?
Yeah. Why not?
Still waiting. You become an adult when you take on responsibility. You can be 21 still living at home and still be a freaking asshole, but when you moved out and you have to pay your bills and all the rest of it, it's a damn quick, mature switch that you have to switch on. And
Yeah.
You have to give your son's friends the don't send dirty pictures to each other because you're still children talk. So
Lucy says, when you pay your own council tax bill, ... Next. You see, Jassa has a sensible answer. Your frontal lobe doesn't completely develop until you're 25. But...
I know people who are 50 who haven't matured.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
I would definitely say it's when you can wipe your ass right. Once you figure out how to clean your ass properly and not walk around with a dirty ass, you're an adult.
So 5.
I don't know about you, but after this whole pandemic, I'm going to invest in a bidet.
Right?
You're aware that you can get one now.
Now,
I
make sure you get a good one.
Yeah.
Because I have one, and it's right. It doesn't preheat the water. What happens is you've just done your business and you're sitting there, and you turn on the thing and it sprays a jet of fucking freezing water straight up your hole. And then about 5 seconds later, it feels like you're tipping a kettle into yourself.
Wow.
So, Eric,
He's broke. He's went a different shape for it. He's gone.
You're going to reconsider that bidet, ain't you?
I have to imagine I'd be a whole lot more awake this morning.
you wanted me to remind you about the tattoo. Have me remind you about my son's bathroom texts, okay? And also, when the first times I met Eric, he heard a conversation between me and my kid, and the first thing Eric said was, "I want to adopt him." So you might change your mind after this one, but trust me, these are hilarious. I will find them for you.
Oh God.
You all right, Dave?
What was the question?
How does a bidet work?
How does a bidet work?
How cold is the water from a bidet?
Depends what.
Can you change the temperature on bidet water? Can we make it temperature controlled?
It depends on the bidet.
It is temperature controlled, as in there is a little, depending on what direction the thing is pointed in, is how hot it's supposed to be. But it still comes out like a fucking block of ice to start with.
Maybe let it
You've got to kind of turn it on really
splash?
low and let it warm.
How much splash is there? How much splash occurs when you use
It
one?
depends on how far you pull the handle.
How long do you have to sit and wait for the water to heat up? Do you have to sit in the fucking toilet with a shitty ass?
Clearly go numb by then.
For the water to heat up if it's ice
You
cold.
see, have you with
right
it, Badger? Is your bidet over the toilet?
It's in the toilet.
See, I've never used a bidet that's in the toilet. It's always been a separate device.
Yeah, well, this one is not. It's in the toilet. There's a little tappy, handly thing that you can pull, and it has different. Depending on how far you turn it in one direction, is how powerful the jet is, and depending on how powerful you turn it in, how far you turn it in another direction, is how warm it's supposed to be.
Does it spray up or out?
But obviously, if you're on the
Is
toilet,
this one of
it's
these
up.
third of the questions that just takes over the stream?
It is possible to spray
And it's
it.
all to do with when you become an adult.
It's possible to spray
When you
across the
buy a
room with this
bidet.
thing.
You invest in a bidet.
There you go. See, once you learn how to wipe your ass, you're an adult.
I'm going with Sal's answer. The fucking ass wiping.
Well, just let me. We can come back to this in a second. Just let me get through these, okay? Because God says you don't become an adult until you have either kids or get a mortgage. I've had both. I still don't consider myself an adult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Responsibility usually kicks you in the grow up fucking.
Doc says childhood is over the moment you know you're going to die. Lucy says I have dirty pictures if you want them, and I'm ignoring the last bit.
Outside interferences.
Jassa says, unfortunately, I think it's when you have your innocence taken by either something horrifying or life-changing. Certainly sobering.
That's depressing.
It is.
Wow.
How about how about the point in your life where your cells start to replace themselves at a slower rate than they are going away?
Ooh. How about when you find your first gray pube?
Oh,
Oh, no.
I have a picture of my first grey hair in my beard. I'm not happy about it.
mine was an eyebrow.
That's
so.
a depressing.
I get weird white eyebrows, very white, just one or two.
Yeah.
I get a strain
How
here.
many
and there.
eyebrows have you got?
This is going to be another fucking tangent.
Yeah, baby, gray hair.
It's relevant to being an adult.
Yes.
All right.
It may not look it, but I've actually got a good amount of salt and pepper going on in here. Very happy about it.
I've got black and white hairs all over because
You're bad. You're
Because you're a nun.
Oh.
Oh.
How about when you realize that eating whatever you like for dinner isn't sensible?
Cake is awesome to eat for dinner. I actually posed this question a couple of weeks ago. I said, "Are pancakes okay to eat for dinner?" Because I was sick of whatever I was making, and this was like shortly after the lockdown started, and like everybody said, "Fuck yeah, pancakes are fine for dinner." So
No, it's when you first start kind of cooking for yourself and you eat like pudding 3 times in a day, and then you have the most uncomfortable shit of your life, and your emotional maturation is complete.
We're back to the bidet.
Back to the bidet. Back to wiping your ass.
You really need a bidet that doesn't freeze your ass.
It always goes back to wiping your ass.
that's when you use the bath bomb.
In the bath.
When you first sit on a bath bomb.
So it's either freeze your ass or burn your ass.
So you sit on the bath
No
bomb.
happy medium.
Wanda just wants her ass to tingle.
Can you use a
somebody
bath
use my
bomb?
bidet?
Can you use a bath bomb with a bidet?
If you had the opportunity to make your ass tingle and not make your ass tingle, I think if we're all honest with ourselves,
Yeah.
I suppose you could use a bath bomb with a
Both
bidet.
extremes, would you create a crack in your butt cheeks from the extreme temperatures?
Okay, I think you could use a bath bomb with a bidet, provided that you have enough manual dexterity in your rear end to hold the bath bomb.
Gotcha. Excellent.
Can you clench a bath bomb?
what am I doing? What am I here?
Bomb
You
like
started
this
it.
fucking big.
Sorry, Eric. You're the one who wanted a bidet. Wipe your ass, but no, you wanted a bidet.
I can't breathe.
Responsibility for stuffing a bath bomb up your ass and making that the point of conversation.
Well, you know when certain societies use seashells and bits of pottery and stuff like that. It's like that.
No, but I still haven't figured out the seashells. They say use 2 hands, but it just doesn't work.
I'm not actually sure how you use a seashell for this function.
Wait, you don't know how to use the 3 shells?
No, it just ended up cut to pieces.
Manda only found out about the 3 shells about a month ago. I had to make her sit down and watch Demolition Man.
You saw the whole good.
That's good.
See, everyone was there. Everyone was there when the pandemic started. Just like we're all out of toilet paper. I'm just like, I have a sponge, a stick, and a bucket. If I run out, I will be fine.
I was gonna say, what do we? I just got a washcloth. I'm sorry, but why is it so complicated?
Sal has a link that shows you how to wipe your bum with 1 square of toilet paper.
Yes. Yeah, Marines show you how to.
No,
wipe your ass with
excuse
one
me. It does not show you how to wipe your bum with 1
Yeah,
square.
it doesn't.
It shows you
No.
It shows you how to wipe your bum with your fingers.
Yes.
Okay.
You wipe your finger, and don't forget the little piece to clean your fingernail.
Under your fingernail.
Yeah, then you got pink finger.
Eric's just leaving. Eric's leaving. Look at it.
I just understand, everybody has access to Kleenex too, so why not just buy a bunch of boxes of Kleenex?
They did. The shops were all out of that as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Then just get a sponge. It's fine.
I've never had an existential crisis on a stream before.
Which, considering who you talk to.
Definitely not at this time of the morning.
I think that's first.
Right. Wait there, just let me get through these questions. Right. Sammy says, I'm starting to feel like an adult now and I'm 37.
Okay.
Isla says, I still don't feel like an adult. I still feel I need an adult to take care of me and I'm 38.
Yeah.
Nerdy says, I have a picture of my first grey pube.
You taking scrapbook it?
Linda says,
To save it? Oh, that would be amazing. I should have saved my first grape view.
oh, just why?
Just pluck it out and put it in the. You know,
And
you
just
like the
claim
little
them as the
flowers.
first
You
one,
flatten
right?
them in a
Don't
book,
worry,
just
there'll
do
be
that.
plenty more to join it.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll just be like, that was the first one.
Yeah, you know when people flatten flowers in a book, just do that. With
They're pubes?
No, no,
You got some crazy ass pubes. I'm impressed.
What the fuck are we just looking
When
at?
I shaved my head, I shaved my
We're looking at MathPig's pube braid.
That was from Bush.
I gotta say, he's just got like a Viking member. That's
Oh, yeah.
That Nordic.
I do an awful lot of pillaging, yes.
I'm going home.
Okay.
You are home.
Morton, you
Well, It's
guys,
been a good career. Thank you all. This has been fun.
you guys are going to turn Eric into Kent Hovind's biggest fan.
No.
This is not our fault. You thought of the questions, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I thought when I wrote the question, when do you become an adult? It would turn
You get
into
a serious
this.
answer?
See, I
You get
didn't
a
bring
serious
up a
answer to this
bidet.
panel. You really thought you'd get a serious answer?
Right.
It
Second.
could go worse. Like there are worse things that make. you an
Okay,
adult.
next question.
The second to last question for today. Question 286. What is the most slapstick thing that has ever happened to you?
Oh, my bidet.
What?
Slapstick.
Mm.
Oh, shit.
I've turned around to run away and ran into a wall that was like a foot behind me and fell straight off my ass.
Okay.
No, I've got it.
Go
I
on.
remember what it was. I was in a shop with my dad some time ago, trying to buy fins for swimming, and I said to him, "Why don't we try through there?" Pointing, and he said, "You can try through there." So I walked that way, looking at the ground as I often did when walking because I'm socially awkward as fuck. And I walked, I thought, into someone. I looked up to apologize and realized it was me because the doorway was in fact a mirror.
Wow. Right, Eric, can you do a southern accent?
Yes.
Right, can you say, I do declare, Badger, that's a big cigar.
No.
Oh. Hang on, let me record it. Please.
Please.
Dave's decided you're never coming back again, so he's just going balls deep now.
No, Isla asked.
I'll tell you what. You can go to my Cameo page. You can hire me to say it.
What do we got here? I hurt my rib. I was a bit drunk. I made a pirouette and landed on my back. It must have looked amazing. Oh, both feet slipped off the pedals of my bike and I fell onto the bar. Crushed my nuts, was so paralysed, had to steer the bike towards the grass and crash.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
I once
About a
got
month-
hit in the face with a hockey stick.
Oh,
So I just thought of mine. Back when I was in high school, I was very, very athletic, and I could do a backflip on command.
Mm.
And I was trying to show off and I did a backflip, and I landed just right on my head. It was just whoop bonk, just yeah.
Can you do a backflip now?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
About a month ago, I was rolling, like where I work is on a slight hill, and where we keep all the scrap tires and stuff is at the bottom. And I was rolling the tire down the hill, and it took off at a direction towards one of the other workers' cars, and I didn't want it to hit his car, so I started to run. But running down a fucking hill, instantly going from 0 to like 10 mile an hour, lost control, fell and flat in my face, slid down the fucking hill. Everybody thought it was hilarious. Tire still hit the car.
I got a story from years ago from my dad. He was towing a boat on a boat trailer, and he's coming around this hill, come down this hill, and all of a sudden the boat trailer passes him. Right? And the thing that adds to this is there was a jogger on the other side of the road a bit down the hill, and sees this boat and trailer coming towards him and manages to catch it.
All right. How?
Did he catch it or did it catch him?
I think that Joyce was doing the dive out the way or catch it.
So what did he do? Just Superman it? Just put the hand out and just...
Basically, yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I know, like I was going to say, the most slapstick thing I probably have is probably jumping between boats and then just disappearing between one of them. Just go hop, 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 disappear. Linda said, say again?
I said something similar happened with the Jack Russell. I was out walking along the canal, and you know where there's like the reeds and stuff, and he's jumping along the reeds at the side of the river, having a great time, and then the reeds, there's nothing underneath them, and it was like, there's a dog, there's a dog. No dog.
Linda says, falling over the dog, landing smack down on the floor face first. Jassa says, I once fell up a flight of stairs carrying a birthday cake with lit candles. When I fell, face went into the cake, rolled down the stairs, set the carpet on fire.
Wow. Yeah, baby.
Why did you light the candles before you walked up the stairs, though?
When I was a
A
kid,
friend of mine once fell down the stairs. He was walking down them, and his feet just went whoop out from under him, and he kind of slid and rolled down the stairs, but landed perfectly on his feet at the bottom.
Ooh. I was thinking about something so I used to work banquets, and I used to be running around like as a bar back, and I remember one day I had 3 bottles of one champagne and 2 bottles of wine in both hands. And I have to run down these stairs, and I saw it coming. I for some reason I just knew I was gonna bust my ass, so I let the bottles go. I just like threw them up in the air just to see what would happen. And I actually slid down the stairs and then ended up on my feet. I caught 1 bottle, but the other 2 broke. So.
But the one's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, that one, like I was like, oh shit, kind of like fell into my hand. I didn't expect that at all.
I think that's like blessed champagne at that point.
Nah, unfortunately, it was the wine and the champagne broke.
No.
Yeah.
Doc did the classic. When I was a kid, I wore a watch on the same hand as that I ate with. So I was eating a bowl of cereal, and someone asked me the time, and I managed to dump the cereal on my lap.
Yeah.
When I went to Metallica, something similar to Sal, there was a guy and he was carrying 6 plastic cups of Heineken over, and he was absolutely wankered, and they were all over the place. He's kneeling down, he's setting them on the ground, they're all starting to wobble, and he pauses because he's near spilt them, and then he falls flat face into the whole fucking lot of them and spills them all over the place. He just sits up and he looks at it like someone's just killed his child. He's like, oh no. It's a 45-minute fucking queue to get more drink.
Plus, those fuckers are expensive. It's like
Oh,
$10. It's like a thing of beer this
had
big.
a bottle of Bacardi and vodka, but the pub sized. So what's that
Wait,
about?
Bacardi and vodka?
No, 2 bottles.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right. And what are they? About a foot and a half high. The ones that go in pubs. They put upside down.
Big pub bottles.
Yes.
We're talking about.
How big are they? 5 litres?
The big pub bottles.
Yeah, that's
the
all I
size.
know them as. Anyway, I bought them at Macro at a warehouse. And my house was on a hill. The driveway was on a hill. So I get home and I open the back door and both bottles roll out and smash on the floor.
Oh no.
Oh, dear.
Cried.
That's
Right.
Hey, I didn't answer.
Did you not?
No.
we need about 5 stories from you now.
I know, to make up for it. Caroline says I need to have a list of people because I keep missing people.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
It's always
tick them
me,
all.
though. Everybody else. I try to talk like 3 times, and people talk over me, and then you just.
This is where you kick her. This is where you kick her.
This is where I kick her. So she can't answer.
Right, everybody shut up.
Manda!
Okay, so I was a gymnast, and one of the days it was a state tournament day actually, and I was warming up on the balance beam, and I was doing a front tuck, and the problem with a front tuck is you know on the beam you don't see where your feet are going because it's frontwards, and I missed, and so here's the beam, and my feet went like that.
Oh!
So yeah. I mean, I don't have testicles, but it still fucking hurt. And my mother was all the way across the gym, and she knew it was me. She could hear me by my scream. So yeah, that was pretty awful, and I was bruised up pretty bad for a while. That was painful.
Ow!
But that's sticky. So
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
It
That's
is.
a cringy one. That one. That's one where you hear it as the story progresses. You just kind of.
yeah.
I'm thinking recording. You've been framed £250.
You would.
Probably.
Right. The last question. A very nice and simple one.
You
What's the
sure?
meaning of life?
Yes. Question 287. Would you rather never laugh again or never use your smartphone again?
Never
Right.
use-
What was the first option?
Never laugh again.
Never laugh again.
I'd rather never use my smartphone again. I
barely
use your
use a
computer or
smartphone.
something else, but not being able to laugh again, that would be awful.
This is meant
Would
to be
I
an easy one.
Funny, just not be able to laugh. Like if I can still enjoy things, just not be able to laugh. Huh?
Can you still fake laugh?
No.
Shit.
You see, I'm wondering whether or not it might be better if it was phrased if you had the most appallingly embarrassing laugh. So you had to try and stop yourself laughing.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't care, man. I honest to God, this stream today, my cheeks are sore. I wouldn't trade that for a fucking smartphone. No way.
Yeah. Nah. It's laughing for me. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could do without my smartphone.
I mean, I barely use a smartphone now. I mostly use it as a camera and a tablet, and those things I can have separate from my phone.
Yeah.
I should have changed it to devices. Eric.
Yo.
Laughter or smartphone?
That's terrible.
Yes, that's the point.
Fuck off, Dave.
I don't know. I feel like I already used that answer.
You only get one of them.
Yeah,
I think for Dave's streams it's valid at least twice. So.
I will lend you my fuck off, Dave, if you want.
You don't have a fuck off, Dave.
Fuck off, Dave. If I could still find things funny, then I think you may actually be able to use that as a tool, to help you. So somebody just says something very, very funny, and you just look at them.
You have to remain completely stoic.
Yeah.
Eventually, people will stop saying funny things to you.
Yes.
Well, but then you just look at them and go, that's hilarious.
You just go,
I am incredibly amused.
lol.
I don't know.
No, that's terrible.
Can you still smile?
No. You can't
Oh.
show laughter
No.
in your
Yeah.
face.
No sort of happiness.
The problem is you're trying to push it as far as I can, so I have to get rid of smile because then you're giving off the signal that it's pleased you.
What if I mostly smile when I'm sad?
Brown, an upside down laugh.
You'd be a clown.
So did you answer, Eric?
No.
Yeah, he said fuck you, Dave.
Okay.
He really wants his smartphone.
You could have your cake and eat it too.
How?
Oh.
Well,
You couldn't. You had to get rid of your smartphone, wouldn't you?
I will. If that's my choice, yeah, the smartphone will go.
Plus, I think all of us here are old enough to have, we've been through a time where we didn't have it anyway. So it's not like my son who, would not know how to live a day without his fucking phone. So.
What would happen if you were in a group of people who could laugh?
Ooh, you know what? Actually, no. I would go without the smartphone because I could get a tablet. That is different.
You have computers. See, See,
Yeah.
Problem solved. You can have your cake and eat it too.
That's right.
So so I would have to do without the awkward device with the touchscreen that I don't like.
Yes.
I will laugh.
You'll laugh.
Okay. I got a question. Porn or laughing?
Oh, fuck.
Fuck off, Manda.
Yeah, no.
See, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you?
Who
paradox.
gets to define what porn is?
That's true.
It's still a paradox because it's still pleasure.
What? How far are you taking the definition of porn?
Well, this is the prime issue.
How far do you take your porn?
Does erotic role play count?
LARPing?
Yes.
Pornographic LARPing?
That's effectively an orgy.
You're effectively an orgy.
Orgy.
Well,
Right.
what the fuck did you get involved in, Eric?
That's what I'm asking myself right now.
I'm dying to know what she sold it as. How did you describe this to Eric?
Oh, I said that MathPig is making me ask if you'll come on Dave's stream. So I literally blamed MathPig.
There you go. Always blame Matthew.
Yep.
Why is everybody telling me to fuck off?
There's a delay, and you asked about orgasm, or no. Porn
Yes,
or
okay.
Porn laughter.
Still.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry.
erotic role play is fine.
Yeah, that's not porn.
Okay, I'm fine then.
Yeah, that's LARPing.
That's LARPing. Right. On that controversial note, I shall say goodbye.
Oh, here comes the fake voice.
It's not a
Lovely.
fake voice, it's my real voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's your real voice putting on a fake affect.
Thank you very much. And say thank you very much to Sal, to Badger, to MathPig, to Eric, and to Manda. And say thank you everyone. I can't talk. And thank you everyone in the chat. I have a great fun today. We will see you all tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Always there, my goodness.
Stay home if you can.